10 Spielberg movies to avoid and 6 forgotten ones you must see. Steven Spielberg made films that shaped a generation. He also made a few he wishes you would skip. Number 10 is Hook. Robin Williams, Dustin Hoffman. A film you love. The man who made it has said he still does not like it. One of these will make you angry. 10 films to skip. 6 lost ones worth finding tonight. 10 films to skip. A man reaches into another man's chest and pulls out his beating heart. That is actually a scene from an Indiana Jones adventure. Number 1 is Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Now, the critics like this film and plenty of you love it, but we are measuring one particular thing in this half of the video. Films the director himself quietly walked away from. In 2017, a documentary crew filmed him for over 30 hours, 17 separate sittings in the year he turned 70. And the filmmaker afterwards revealed what came out of all those conversations. Temple of Doom is his least favourite Indiana Jones film out of all of them. It is easily the darkest of the original 3 by a wide margin. The tone jumps from a glittering nightclub number straight to that heart. Parents complained and the American rating system changed partly because of this movie. Raiders is right there, and so is Last Crusade. Start with either one. And while we are here, number 2 is the other Indiana Jones problem, Crystal Skull, released in 2008. 19 years after the last film, with Harrison Ford back in the hat. Here is the strange part, because the critics actually liked this one too. 77%, and Ebert gave it 3.5 stars. It actually made more money than any other Indiana Jones film. The audience completely disagreed. You already know exactly which scene did it. The one with the refrigerator. It handed the language an entirely new phrase. Even Shia LaBeouf said he felt he had dropped the ball. He said audiences generally know when the work is not there. He took it back later after Spielberg had a quiet word with him. 18 years later, nobody has changed their mind. Number 3 came 4 years after the best dinosaur film ever made. The Lost World with Jeff Goldblum back in the black. Every single grocery store in America had a display. The reviews came in at 53%, and Ebert and Siskel each gave it 2 stars. But the most revealing verdict came from the director himself. Spielberg has admitted he lost interest partway through making it. He beat himself up on set, growing impatient with his own work. He said he kept wondering if that was really all there was. Then he admitted something bigger. He is simply not good at sequels. His word, not mine. None of that hurt it commercially. It was the second biggest film in America that year. Only Titanic managed to beat it. A movie can make a fortune and still leave everybody completely cold. Watch the T-Rex loose in San Diego. Skip the hour and a half in front of it. Number 4 is The Terminal, from 2004. Tom Hanks plays a man whose country stops existing mid-flight. His passport goes dead in the air, so he lives inside an airport for months. Nobody actually hates The Terminal, and that is the whole trouble with it. One critic called it a featherweight farce that never takes off. There is a genuinely interesting film buried in here, a story about how a country treats a stranger who has nowhere to go. Spielberg walks straight past it and reaches for charm instead. What remains is 2 hours of a wonderful actor being cute in an airport. Pleasant, weightless, and completely forgotten by Tuesday. Number 5 is a completely different kind of entry. The BFG from 2016, adapted from Roald Dahl's Giant. And the reviews were genuinely good, around 74%. What went wrong here was arithmetic, not quality. The film cost $140 million. It made back $195 million around the world. That sounds fine, until you learn how theatres split the money. The Hollywood Reporter calculated the loss at nearly $100 million, the biggest financial loss of his entire career. It opened directly against Finding Dory, and that was the entire story. One detail about this film deserved considerably better. The script was written by Melissa Matheson. She had written E.T. 34 years earlier. She died in 2015 before the film reached theatres. The BFG is the last thing she ever wrote. The film is dedicated to her. Let's skip it because it is minor, certainly not because it is bad. Then watch E.T. again and look carefully for her name. 5 down, and you can probably see the pattern forming. Almost none of these were rejected by critics at the time. These are films the director himself backed away from later. 5 to go, and number 10 is the one I promised you. Number 6 is one you may not even remember. Always from 1989 with Richard Dreyfuss and Holly Hunter. Spielberg chased this particular film for 10 years. It is a remake of an old wartime picture he watched as a boy. He and Dreyfuss used to quote shots from it while filming Jaws. A genuine dream project, and it landed with no sound at all. Ebert called it his weakest film since 1941. Here is the one reason to look anyway. Audrey Hepburn is in it, playing an angel. It was the last role she ever took. She said yes because she wanted to work with him. Skip the film entirely, but find her scenes. And that 20 minutes of Audrey Hepburn pays for the whole rental. Number 7 is Ready Player One from 2018, a future where everyone hides inside a virtual world full of 80s toys. The DeLorean is in it, the Iron Giant is in it, King Kong is in there somewhere, and plenty of people genuinely love this movie, so I want to be fair about that. Critics came in around 71%, and it cost $175 million, his second most expensive production ever made. But here is the case against it. One major review called it weaponized nostalgia, a failed experiment built out of dead movies and old games. That is the fundamental trouble with a film made only of references. You are not watching a story, you are being handed a checklist. Every object you love shows up and none of it means anything. If you want 80s Spielberg, the real films are 2 clicks away. Number 8 is the one everybody in Hollywood saw coming, 1941, a huge loud comedy about panic in Los Angeles after Pearl Harbor. John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd at the peak of their powers, written by 2 young men named Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale. They went on to make Back to the Future, so the talent was obviously there. Here is the part that stayed with me. Spielberg told the New York Times that while he was shooting it, he kept saying the same sentence to himself. This is not a Steven Spielberg movie. He was completely right, and remarkably, he knew it at the time. Years later, he admitted the mistakes in it directly. He is a director who moves you by holding one face too long. This kind of comedy wants noise and 40 people shouting. Those 2 things fight each other for 2 hours straight. Number 9 is War of the Worlds from 2005. Tom Cruise and a very young Dakota Fanning running from the tripods. And I already know some of you are typing, because the first hour of this film is close to perfect. The tripod coming up through the street, the ferry, the basement. $600 million around the world. Still the biggest film Tom Cruise has ever had in America. Critics gave it around 75%. So why is it here? One reason entirely: the final 10 minutes. Rotten Tomatoes says the ending is still a sore point, and that some people cannot forgive one character living. You know the one. The son who walks out of the smoke without a scratch. 90 minutes of the coldest invasion Spielberg ever shot. Then the film reaches for a happy reunion it never earned. Watch the first hour, then stop it at the basement. You will have seen the best of it and none of the retreat. And here it is. Number 10, the one I promised you, Hook. Robin Williams plays a grown-up Peter Pan, a corporate lawyer who forgot he could fly. Dustin Hoffman under the wig, Julia Roberts as Tinker Bell, Maggie Smith, Bob Hoskins, even Phil Collins turns up. Critics hated it, and it currently sits at 29%. The official line says he made the whole thing on autopilot. Then something strange happened because the audience adopted it anyway. A whole generation grew up on this film and never let it go. People now call it one of his most underrated movies. Which brings us back to the man standing in the middle of all that love. In 2011, he said he felt uneasy inside that painted world. His imagination only went as far as the sets and the blue and red trees. In 2018, he put it simpler, admitting he had no faith in the script. And on a radio show in 2012, he said this: he wanted to watch Hook again. He still did not like that movie, and he hoped that one day he might see it and like some of it. I find that oddly moving. A man in his 60s still trying to make peace with his 40s. You may love this film, a lot of people do. Just know that its director is still working up to joining you. 6 films to find. That is the skip list. Now for the better half, because a career this enormous inevitably buries things. 6 Spielberg films sit lost behind Jaws and E.T. and Schindler's List. One of them got 11 Oscar nominations and won nothing. One of them he made when he was 24 for television. All 6 of them are streaming tonight. Start with number 6, Catch Me If You Can. Leonardo DiCaprio as a teenager writing bad checks across the country. Tom Hanks as the agent who cannot quite catch him. And Christopher Walken as the father in the finest work of his later career. It is the lightest Spielberg has ever been, and it suits him. 60s suits, 60s airports, a John Williams score that skips. But watch what he does with Walken. The father is a man losing everything slowly and pretending he is not. Every scene between those two is a boy trying to save his dad. That is the entire movie, hiding underneath the suits. People say if anyone else had made this, it would be their masterpiece. Spielberg made it, so it sits in the middle of the shelf. Number 5 is Munich from 2005. Eric Bana leads a team sent out after the attack at the '72 Olympics. Daniel Craig is in it, 1 year before he became James Bond. It is the hardest film Spielberg has ever made. There is no comfort in it, and nobody gets saved. The film keeps asking what the work costs the men doing it. Then it deliberately refuses to answer on the way out. People call it his most underrated film, and it is easy to see why it slipped by. It came out at the end of the same year as War of the Worlds. 1 director, 2 films, 12 months. This is the one that lasted. 4 left. And the next one is the most argued about film he ever made. Number 4 is AI, Artificial Intelligence. Haley Joel Osment plays a robot boy built to love, a machine child who wants to become real and spends 2,000 years trying. Stanley Kubrick developed this film for decades. He worked on it continuously from 1973 until he died. He wanted Spielberg to direct it. He said so while he was alive, and when it came out, the room split down the middle. The ending absorbed most of the criticism. Too sentimental, people said. Spielberg sweetening Kubrick. The man who wrote the original story said he added sugar to Kubrick's wine. Here is why it is in this half. That ending did not come from Spielberg going soft. It came out of Kubrick's own work over many years. And it is not a happy ending. Look at it again. The mother is a copy. The day happens once. The boy never wakes up. It is one of the coldest things he ever filmed. And it spent 25 years being called sentimental by people who wanted it colder. Watch it again. It is not the film you were told it was. Number 3 is the one the entire industry got wrong. The Color Purple from 1985. From Alice Walker's novel about a woman named Sally in rural Georgia. Whoopi Goldberg plays her, and it was her very first film. Oprah Winfrey plays Sophia, also her first film. Danny Glover, Margaret Avery, music by Quincy Jones, and it cost $15 million and made $142 million. Ebert called it the best film of the year. It received 11 Academy Award nominations, and it won absolutely nothing. That ties the record for the most nominations without a single win. Spielberg was not even nominated for directing it, and the Directors Guild had just handed him their top prize for the same film. The shutout caused an argument at the time. People still argue about it. If you know someone who has never seen this, send them this video. 40 years on, most people will tell you it outlasted the film that beat it. Number 2 is the one that hardly anybody has seen. Duel from 1971, when Spielberg was 24 years old. Made for television on $450,000. Some of you probably watched it the night it first aired. The story is almost nothing at all. A traveling salesman drives across California and a tanker truck starts following him. You never once see the driver clearly. That is the whole film, 90 minutes. Dennis Weaver carries it alone. Most of it is one face behind a windshield. And watch how he shoots that truck. Held back, half seen, always further away than you want it to be. It is exactly how he would shoot the shark 4 years later. You are watching a young man work out the rules in real time. And number 1 is the one I would fight for. Empire of the Sun, 1987. A young English boy is torn away from his parents in Shanghai. He survives 4 years inside a Japanese prison camp. The boy is Christian Bale, who was 13, and it started that entire career. John Malkovich is in it, along with a very young Ben Stiller. John Williams wrote one of his most beautiful scores for it. 6 Academy Award nominations and $66 million worldwide. 66. Against 480 for Saving Private Ryan. There is one moment in it I have never forgotten. The boy climbs onto a roof and salutes the fighter planes going over. He has been starving for years. He is thrilled anyway. A child finding wonder inside something terrible. No director who ever lived does that better than this one, Rowe. 50 years of work, and the man is still arguing with himself about all of it. I think that is why the good ones are as good as they are. Nobody who is happy with himself makes Empire of the Sun. Next time we stay in this era and look at a cast you have not thought about in a very long time. Start with Empire of the Sun tonight, then come back and tell me I was wrong about Hook.